Next up are Eva and Marina from Tribe 47. In this session, they're demystifying lifecycle campaigns within evergreen funnels and revealing 3 launch funnels that'll allow you to reach growth peaks throughout a 12-month period. Ladies, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to see you here today on AdVolt Conference. I'm Marina. I'm Head of Performance, and
I'm Eva. I'm CEO and founder of Tribe 47, who's digital marketing partner, helping other businesses to grow online. And we're going to go right into our presentation today because we have based it on experience that we took from working with over 200 different businesses in the span of the last 3 years. Are you ready, Marina?
Yes, let's go.
Okay. So guys, first question to you. Do you know, or maybe you even have on your team, this kind of a super marketer guy or girl, someone who's into optimization, automation, dashboards, spreadsheets, and in his or her free time, also into being superhuman, taking supplements, maybe into keto diet, always with the blue light blocking glasses on their nose, and really being a total enthusiast of constant optimization of their work and life. But you might also have a different person on your team, or you might know a different kind of marketer, right, Marina?
Yeah, so I can a bit relate. The second type of marketer is marketing hustler. So you guys probably know his lifestyle and how he works and how he lives. So he's like always with a fire under his ass, producing millions of landing pages, discounts, promo campaigns, like for every day, 90% off, Rabbit Day, Clean Ocean Day, like all the time, all the launches, new products and stuff like this. He's also into shady businesses. He lives off his launches, and he's also into tight deadlines. He's with energy drinks. He's the one with this last wobbly cold piece of pizza from yesterday party, which he takes today for breakfast with 3 cups of coffee with his 3 hands. Yes, he's the one. He's a marketing hustler, and I can relate a bit. Maybe it's not good. Okay, and Eva, when I'm talking about marketing hustler, I think about one question. So if you could choose between these 2 marketers, which one would you choose to 10x your business this year?
Good question, Marina. Actually, the most important, I think, piece of wisdom we want to leave you with today is that each of these guys could actually do the job. And we've seen businesses scaled by one or by the other. But together, these 2 guys or girls could grow your business fast. And for the purpose of this presentation, we used a metaphor of supermarketer and marketing hustler to present to you 2 types of funnels that you should have inside of your business rolling to maximize your growth potential. And the first marketer, the supermarketer, today symbolizes an evergreen funnel, which is an automated, process-oriented funnel, which is covering the entire journey of a customer acquisition, from the awareness stage to the retention stage. And the other guy, the hustling marketer, who does he symbolize, Marina?
He symbolizes a launch funnel because he is all into launches, short-term events. So you use launch funnel to maximize your revenue in a short period of time. And launch funnels are usually targeted to warm, conscious audiences, which you gather during your evergreen.
Exactly. So this really core piece of wisdom here is that one funnel is not enough to maximize your growth. To achieve growth fast, you need to have at least one well-optimized evergreen funnel and a series of well-planned consecutive launch funnels. Period. And here on this slide, you guys can see on this very simplistic model of a funnel how these 2 funnels overlay. So the evergreen funnel is really taking our potential buyers from the awareness stage, where he's building this huge group of more aware databases, throughout the whole process of converting them until the retention. And the launch funnel, you see, it starts somewhere in the middle. It's really benefiting from all the audiences that were built during the evergreen funnel. So there's this one thing we want to tell you is that if you have only evergreen or only launch, or you have better build evergreen or better build launch, it doesn't mean that your business is bad. You might be making a lot of money actually, but we're only telling you that by making sure that both of these are well taken care of, you are maximizing your chances to grow your business fast. And this healthy revenue split or customer acquisition split between these two funnels that we've seen in businesses where both of these are taken care of very well is somewhere in the middle between 50-50, 40-60, or 60-40. And now look, here is an example from one of my favorite businesses, which is a subscription business. It's from the Yoga VOD platform, which is rolled on a subscription basis. Look here. These two lines, the blue one and the yellow one, are symbolizing the numbers of customers that are being acquired through evergreen funnel and through different consecutive launch funnels. Together, the synergy of these two acquisitions is creating the growth in the total users database, which is symbolized by this green line. What's interesting about the subscription businesses, especially in B2C, I really haven't seen for a long time a subscription business in B2C that was not benefiting from the synergy of evergreen and launch. It's because in these kind of businesses, churn tends to eat out a big chunk of a customer acquisition. By having these two types of campaign, you are really helping your business to get into the growth and to mitigate churn. Now, another interesting thing about evergreen and launch funnels is that you should be looking at a little bit different ROAS goals for each of them. Evergreen funnels, you've seen that they are very much targeted at cold audiences. That's the biggest chunk of this funnel. And in this case, you can accept a lower return on investment from your ad spend. Something between 100% and 300% seems low, but for the evergreen, it can still be enough if you have these series of launch funnels where you are targeting much higher ROAS. So the ROAS for the launch campaigns between 300 and 500, that's really okay goal. You can even go much higher, but for the launch, you can accept a lower one. I've seen so many times this mistake that was done by advertisers where they were turning off evergreen campaigns, especially those in the top of the funnel, because they were producing an ROAS below 300%. Well, it's great to strive for better ROAS, but if you're switching off or downscaling your evergreen funnel, you're really inhibiting yourself from having a big base that you can later target with launch funnels. That's really an important thing which you can see here, again, on the example of this yoga VOD subscription business. Look, the average ROAS, the green line, is in this perfect rank between 200 and 500%. 300% for the digital subscription business is actually a pretty good ROAS. But now look, evergreen ROAS is sometimes even touching 100%. It's the launch ROAS, the yellow line, which is between 500 and 700. And together, the synergy creates an optimal 300% return on ad spend for this particular business. And I think this is like the most important piece of advice we want to show you throughout this presentation, a synergy of these two, making sure you have both of them in your business.
Hey guys, I think actually everything the most important was already said. So like if you want to go and have your martinis or coffee or whatever you want to do, I think we can say goodbye and wrap it up here, like bye-bye.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
No.
Marina, for your cheesy joke, obviously I have lots of slides to go, and I want to share with you first, it's going to be me sharing the wisdom about one type of universal evergreen funnel, which for the purpose of this presentation, I called life cycle. So the life cycle evergreen funnel is a simplified version of a funnel that can actually work for any type of business, from online education through e-commerce, digital content, B2B, just for everyone. So I try to put here all the most important advices that you can use to build this kind of funnel in your business of any kind. Now, in this drawing, you obviously see the simplified drawing of a funnel. Tofu, mofu, bofu, all you smart marketers know very well what it is: top, middle, and bottom of a funnel. awareness, lead gen, sales, and maximization of your lifetime value. Now, we're going to dive deeper into each of the sections of this funnel to show you what are the most important techniques to make these stages work and flow together. Now, let's dive into TOEFL, the top of the funnel first. Obviously, from the technical point of view, it's about building awareness. This is where you're targeting cold audiences. You want to make the highest chunk of your significant market aware of your product and brand. Now, on the psychological level, it's about getting an attention and creating interest around your brand. And thank you, Marina, for this really cheesy TOEFL gif. Okay, obviously, we all know that TOEFL in marketing is not TOEFL in kitchen, but sometimes you can use that cheesy joke. Anyways, let's go further into what's important on TOEFL stage. So the most important aspect of TOEFL is to think first about what's really inside the head of your target market. I love this quote from Dan Kennedy, who says, always enter the conversation that is happening in your customers' heads. Now, important thing here is like you want to relate to your customer and you want to engage them with content. You're not selling your product yet. Look at this ad. It's about loving yourself, but it is for the digital yoga platform. A lot of people might be great customers for a digital yoga platform, but they're not really thinking about yoga right now. But they are really into understanding through the pandemic and being closed and locked down in their home that they have some little challenge with loving themselves, because that theme is quite popular recently. Now, you can create an ad that takes people to the blog where you dive deeper into this content, and later you try to introduce the yoga at home concept into their head. Now, what's also important at the TOEFL stage is the usage of video. Well, there are two reasons for that. First one, videos can help you to build much bigger audience that can be later remarketed at different stages of an evergreen funnel. More people can watch your video on Instagram or YouTube than go into your blog. That's that obvious, especially when it comes to your advertising efforts. Now, what's interesting about videos at the TOEFL stage, this is about storytelling. It's about being emotional. This is an example of a very emotional video presenting a personal story of a doctor who is talking to women who are suffering from symptoms of a menopause. She has a line of products directed to this market, and she's telling her very personal story related to menopause in her life. Now, another way of using videos is in the TOEFL is to use video series. It's probably my favorite example today. Last year, we executed this really cool campaign for one of the food delivery apps that was entering our region. And we used a series of videos, which was a story of a couple from the moment when they for the first time met to the moment when they started living together, having some first arguments. And we showed how the food delivery app was playing a role in their journey. Even couriers were playing some role, if I remember well. And Marina's team was distributing this video series for a pretty long time across different channels. And thanks to that, they created a very good audience that was later remarketed with different stages of the evergreen funnel for this food delivery app. Let's go further. Let's go into MOFU, which is middle of the funnel, which on the psychological level is really about building a first positive interaction with your target market. On the more technical level, it's really about lead gen. You want to generate the leads because you don't want to get stuck with paid advertising only. You want to have this chance to follow up with your audience with emails. You're going to see, because at MOFU, that's becoming, I think, the most obvious. Now, what's important at the MOFU stage? Use trials. Let your customers try your product. It's so easy and simple for the digital products, obviously, and be creative in the ads. Like somehow our team loves animals. You're going to see it throughout this presentation. Use trials, but use them also for the physical products. I love that technique. I love the physical product samples distributed through digital campaigns. We use them a few times. It creates wonders on the MOFU stage. If you have content at TOEFL, and from content, you introduce people to the sample of your product, it's much smoother transition than from content trying to sell them on your main product, especially when the product is slightly more expensive than the middle for your category. Now, this ad is also very creative, but we don't have time to go into that. Just check it out when you get the slides. Quizzes, another great technique for the MOFU stage. Interaction through quiz. It's where you can show your customers some new insights about themselves or about your brand. Use them at MOFU. And finally, if you don't have any other more creative idea, use some very typical lead magnet. It always works at TOEFL. Yeah, that's of course true. You can use ebooks, you can use free reports, checklists, some customer clubs. Just be creative on the ad, like Marina's team here chose to use PUG for the advertisement of an ebook. Now, Marina, maybe a little bit about who you should target the MOFU campaign at when it comes to advertising.
Okay, so actually I would share a tip about not targeting, but about gathering audiences on TOEFL and MOFU stage. Here is some insight from our performance team. You see our cute impersonation here on the slide. So what is important? Everything you launch, guys, in your ad should obviously be tracked. And I think it's like clear for everyone, but everything you track should be turned into remarketing lists. So here is a list of audiences you should gather during top of the funnel and middle of the funnel to later convert with your sales campaigns. And these audiences are action-based, which means they visited some page or watched some video or opted in. So you actually better maybe screenshot this slide because I won't go deeper into it, and it could be useful for your later sales campaign.
And finally, the last part of your evergreen campaign is BOFU, bottom of the funnel, which is all about sales and maximization of the lifetime value from the technical standpoint. And it's all about killing different purchase objections from the psychological standpoint. Now, one interesting thing I want to show you about BOFU, we're not showing it before, but now I'm going to go into it. Here, you can see the most common BOFU automated email campaigns. If there's one thing that I believe marketers should know by heart, are different email remarketing campaigns that they can use at the BOFU stage. I sometimes ask this question during interviews, and I think it's really good to know it because that's a part of your evergreen funnel that can be really automated. It can be automated at the email stage. And remember, it's about abandoned checkout, browse abandonment, win back campaigns, cross-sell campaigns. There's a lot of them. Remember about them and use them. But what's really more interesting is that you can sync these email campaigns together with your advertising campaign. And that's where the real synergy comes in and where you're maximizing ROIs on the campaigns. And this is also this part that can be fully automated, much more automated than the tofu of the evergreen funnel, which also can be automated to some extent, but you have to be creative there and changing a lot. But here you can be really much more automated. So let's look at different different advertising campaigns that merge nicely with the email campaigns. Browse abandonment email, browse abandonment catalog ad, abandoned checkout email, abandoned checkout ad. And now for all the digital product, video. Of course, use videos throughout your entire funnel. People love videos, especially on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. That's a remarketing ad that uses video. It's about a product, but it's very different than what you would use at TOEFL stage. It's a more technical, feature-based video where you are trying to overcome objections towards your product. Especially when your product is complicated, use this video to explain what your product is really about. Testimonials, great at BOFU stage. A lot of people use them at TOEFL. Maybe sometimes can work, but really if someone doesn't even know what your product is, they don't care about some random person saying that they love to use it. But at the BOFU stage, testimonial ads can really overcome the objections towards your product. And you can also use them to cross-sell to someone who just bought your product. You can show them a related product through the testimonial, and that's also going to work well. And now finally, this reorder ad, order again ad. This is something very easy, very quick to set up, and sometimes what works wonders because it just simply reminds someone, hey, your product is finishing, buy it again. And this GIF here shows how the product is really shrinking inside a cup. So it is very visual representation like, hey, you should refill your order. And now some wisdom about BOFU from the advertisers on Tribe 4017.
Yeah, so our performance team is sharing here again, audiences you should gather. But a reminder, again, quick reminder about that everything you set up in ads should be tracked and then turned into your remarketing list. So here on BOFU, first yellow arrows column represents these action-based audiences, as before we showed you in top of the funnel and middle of the funnel audiences. Here you also see them, but gathered during bottom of the funnel. So these are abandoned checkout, added product to cart, and stuff like this. But what is more important, these are red arrows audiences, which are a second type. And these are time-based audiences, which include amount of days which took your audience to complete some action, right? So you actually should gather your audiences, your action-based audiences, which are page visitors or product added to cart or video viewers, and then segment them based on their duration, and then merge best performing.
Exactly. And the final piece of wisdom about Evergreen. What does it mean to work on Evergreen? It's about optimization of conversion. That's why the supermarketers are so good at it. And now we're going to go into some more exciting stuff and launches by Marina.
Okay, we have discussed Evergreen, and now let's cover two types of launch funnels. I have picked two. One is my favorite and a bit controversial, and second is the most universal. And this time I won't go deeper into these two funnel stages as Eva did for Evergreen, but rather will present you some insights we gathered by executing over 100 launch funnels. Let's just quickly remind ourselves what exactly a launch funnel is. So a launch funnel works great if you would like to maximize revenue in a short period of time. It won't replace your Evergreen stability, but can bring those sweet revenue peaks in your analytics report and bank account. Launch funnels work for almost every type of business. Of course, they're a perfect fit for all B2Cs, especially commerce, online education, and all digital content products. But it's important to adjust the type of your launch funnel to the type of the business, so even B2Bs could choose a working launch funnel too. Now, let's get back just for a second to Eva's favorite topic, synchronicity and synergy, but this time from operational perspective. On this slide, you can see a real example. This timeline was created for one of our clients. It shows 6 months synergy between Evergreen funnel and several launch funnels. The black line symbolizes Evergreen, and the gray squares are launch campaigns happening at the same time. I think it's quite obvious that launch campaigns could be a real hustle here. Just think about all the landing pages and ads and creatives which should be produced. But we will talk about this hustle just a bit later. Now, I know Eva feels a bit of cringe now looking at this GIF, but this is my way to present you the main takeaway from this presentation. Look, you have Evergreen funnel plus launch funnel, a pinch of synergy, and you could have this perfect threesome. And if you ask me who is the third person, quite possibly it's CEO or business owner, but we don't judge. Okay, jokes aside, let's start with one of my favorite launch funnels, webinar. It works perfectly for online education, subscription, and B2Bs, but e-commerces and other B2Cs could also use a webinar to generate leads and revenue. Now, webinar funnel uses short online event to sell related product during and after the webinar. As a crucial part of the webinar campaign is your special offer, which you share during the webinar, usually in the end. And this is actually quite often missed by marketers. This special offer is also available up to 24 hours after the webinar for attendees only. Webinar campaign launch could take up to 30 days, and we don't count planning and preparation. From the day 1 when campaign aired till day 14, you should have pre-webinar promo, and you use all known and unknown tactics to get as many webinar registrants as possible. Now, then the day X comes, your live or pre-recorded event, when you share your special offer. And your sales campaign after the webinar could take from 7 to 14 days, when discount is getting smaller and smaller every 2 to 5 days as discount ladder. Now, we won't tell you webinar campaign is easy to execute. I think it becomes easier with time and experience, but still you need to plan a lot of things and you will have all the hassle with the script, recording, landing pages, and so on. You can screenshot this slide with 16 important webinar elements, which are quite basic, but still irreplaceable for a good webinar campaign. If you would like to go deeper into this topic, together with the slides, you will also get a link to in-depth guide on webinar campaign excellence. But now, what are the important elements of launching webinar in paid social? A video invitation from the webinar host is an absolute must-have, both for live and pre-recorded webinars. The webinar speaker should spread the passion about the topic of the webinar based on pre-written script. And I hear you asking maybe who should write the script? We should write it, marketers, because not only passion, but marketing triggers and hooks will make this ad efficient for a webinar lead generation. If your webinar topic is sexy, content-oriented ads will get you quite cheap webinar registrants. Try to explain to your audience why this webinar is worth their time by showing agenda, Q&A, takeaways, and all the content you have. And of course, creative visuals to stand out. Now, the healthy webinar attendance rate is 40 to 50%, which means that only a half of your leads or even less will appear on the webinar. And you can maximize this audience by sending emails and showing ads with webinar replay to your registrants who missed the webinar. They should also get a special offer so you can convert some of them to, as you did with attendees. Now, this slide is prepared purely for all the skeptical faces. I can almost see you guys through my screen. Let's get some clarity. Is webinar an old school marketing tactic? Maybe. Is it true that due to pandemic, every business launched at least one webinar? Maybe it's true, but does webinar still convert? Guys, it does. Perfectly designed, planned, and executed webinar can bring you from $500K to even $1 million in your product sales. We have stably generated such revenues during last 3 years for our clients. So try or cry. Okay. We're sliding down towards the end of our presentation. So the last launch funnel I would like to talk about today is seasonal promo. It's actually the most universal, matching almost every business. You just need to pick a matching campaign for your exact business type. And a quick reminder on seasonal promo campaigns. This funnel uses scarcity and limited availability to boost sales. So special offer plus limited time equals seasonal campaign. Now, a basic seasonal promo campaign contains anticipation, promo, and closure. There are different types of each of them. As for example, you can use different types of promos as discounts or freebies. You can screenshot this slide because I won't stop here for long. One important thing, this part of seasonal promo, which is usually missed even by senior marketers, is anticipation lead gen, which is a perfect way to get cheap leads and higher conversion rates. And I will explain how anticipation works on the example of ads. So you start your anticipation on average 2 weeks before the seasonal promo. It's not a rule, you can start earlier, but if later it might get a bit squeezy, you ask your audience to sign up through a special page for earlier access to discounts or special offer for this promo campaign. And this is anticipation. Now, an access to the special offer given 24 to 30 hours prior to the actual promo opening works really well. As usually, emails and that should follow every anticipation registrant everywhere because seasonal campaign is not a time to be subtle and reserved in your communication. Now, after anticipation special offer finishes and your regular campaign starts, you should use this concept of non-obvious discount ads. The tactic of replicating your audience style and communication can be amazing. And for the ads on this slide and previous slides, we used old school Windows design for our cybersecurity geeks audience. Now, scarcity triggers enter the chat. Small background. We have noticed across multiple executed projects that almost every persona reacts well to the last chance or last hours type of communication. Maybe it's a human nature to be triggered by this upcoming deadline. Doesn't matter. Anyways, every launch campaign should use last chance communication. And in fact, we have seen the most of leads and conversions coming from last chance ads and emails in every seasonal promo campaign. Now, the last insight on seasonal campaigns. if comparing revenue from week without a promo with a week with a promo, your revenue difference should be minimum 250%. And what is interesting, Black Friday week over week revenue growth should be of 1,500% minimum. This is the short-term revenue growth you should expect from your seasonal promos. And this is not some fluffy data because it's based on more than 30 seasonal campaigns executed by us in 2020. So wrapping up, what I think was quite visible when I was presenting webinar and seasonal campaigns details is that they're pure hustle, guys. All the landing pages, offer, ads, it will take hours and hours to execute it. If you want, of course, generate some real money. So on this slide, you see these are the biggest launch funnel struggles, and well, there is a solution. The solution is launch funnel optimization, but this time not by optimizing conversion rates like an evergreen, but by optimizing processes and then automating everything possible. This year, launch campaign processes optimization should be a main focus of our marketing hustler. Of course, you cannot automate launch fully, guys, but processes, checklists, planning are all the things which can cut hours and minimize wasted resources for launch campaigns execution. Okay, I will stop here and we can go into summary.
Finally, a summary of this presentation. So, what were we talking about today? Of course, my message of alignment and synchronicity between evergreen and launch campaigns that together are going to create growth in your business. Just to sum up very quickly, what are the differences between evergreen and launch? Well, evergreen, all year round, seasonal, launch. Entire acquisition process, it's evergreen, targeted at warm audiences, warmed up during evergreen, that's launch. ROAS accepted at the level even below 300%, it's your evergreen, but launch should have actually much higher ROAS. 300%, it's probably your minimum target here. And evergreen work is the optimization work. It's a conversion optimization work. Launch work is a process optimization work and production optimization work. And that's really, I think, Marina, the end, right? And here we've got this, what? Foursome, right? Two female marketers and two different marketing hustler and super marketer together can create growth in your business and
in our hearts, as you see. Yeah, so I think that's all. Eva, thank you. It was really good, I guess. Guys, you have some postscriptum in this presentation. When you will be getting slides, there are some really useful links which you can check to go deeper into both some techniques or tactics we shared, but also types of campaigns we were discussing today.
Thank you.